Hi, I'm Olivia Stolen, CEO of Capital Management Business.
I'm Janelle Moore, CEO of Zen Federal.
Together, we sponsored FITSourcing, and we wanted to talk to you today about FITSourcing and the IT governance solutions that we wanted to bring to your federal space, whether it's departments or agencies. We feel like IT governance is just extremely important to us, and we want to make sure that there is proper training, there's proper staffing, and there's proper coaching and mentorship programs available to you for all of your IT governance needs. So we're here to discuss FITSourcing, and it's an organization that's really dedicated to IT governance solutions. We decided to bridge some gaps where we saw a lack in training and provide some mentoring and coaching to those who are already in the field or those who want to come into the field, and also provide staffing solutions. Our mission and goal and our vision is literally one and the same. We want to provide quality, innovative IT governance solutions, something with transparency and alignment to all of your business management strategies within the federal government. So FITSourcing is an organization that's dedicated to IT governance solutions. And we decided that we will look at three areas that we found that really needed some strengthening in the industry currently: training, mentoring, coaching, and staffing. We want to be able to provide these services to the federal government to create transparency within IT governance. So our mission and our goal and our vision is really just one and the same. It's to provide quality, innovative IT governance solutions with transparency and alignment to business management strategies. I've been in this industry for 22 years, and I have seen so many different variations of IT governance and different ways of doing these reporting strategies that we do, and how we come up with our budget every year and how we align our investments. One thing that's very clear is that IT is literally going nowhere. IT is here to stay. We are more heavily dependent on IT now than we have ever been. And I believe that we're going to always be dependent on IT. We're going to always look for ways to innovate things and automate things. This made me want to partner with collaborate with Janelle to kind of solve some of these industry challenges that we have seen in the last 22 years of my career. And I'm going to introduce Janelle and have her go through her experience with this process as well.
Hi, my name is Janelle Moore. I am the CEO of Zen Federal. I have been the executive director of the Federal Capital Planning and Investment Control Forum. I was in that role for over 13 years. I have been a certified capital planning professional instructor for 12 of those years. And in my experience, not only was I teaching policy, governance, capital planning, federal portfolio and program management, agile program management, but I was also in different agencies, both on the defense and the civilian side, helping to set up PMOs, to triage PMOs, to train portfolio managers, and to improve the productivity and efficiency of those PMOs. And like Olivia, I saw a lot of challenges in this area, and not a lot of companies that were providing a value proposition to help the federal government do better with transparency and improving their FITARA scores and their compliance. So we teamed up and we started to brainstorm about what we could do in the federal sector and even in the state sector to deliver some services and some educational approaches that leverage technology, that address the challenges that we've all been facing with the COVID pandemic. And we'd like to talk to you a little bit about our three solution value proposition and how it can help you.
We recognize some IT governance risk and issues, as well as mitigation strategies. And I really wanted to kind of get into that because really they are currently 5 certified instructors left for IT governance. And one of them is retired. 2 of them are in federal positions where they cannot actually train and teach this on this type of scale. And then there's Janelle and I. And so there are not many qualified, certified people to even train in this field, but we understand the importance of IT governance, and we wanted to provide a solution for that. I mean, most of the instructor-led trainings, the budget has been cut, and we have been dealing with the pandemic where we really can't safely do in-person led training anymore. So we was trying to figure out a way, how can we create something where people are consistently have access to this training, where it's just accessible to them in ways where we're adapting to our new norm. The project management courses and all of these acquisition-led courses that are out there, they're not specific to the federal government. You can get certified in these areas, but there is absolutely no specific degree, college degree, or any specific training that's currently out there that addresses IT governance as a whole. And IT governance is just important. It handles how we deal with our enterprise architecture. It handles how we deal with our PMO. It handles how we deal with our capital planning, how we report our budget to Congress, and how the president ultimately decides on what is going to get funded on a yearly basis. So governance is extremely important, and it's our labor of love here, trying to push forward an effort that will allow people to have a platform to not just learn about IT governance, be trained in it, but to be coached, to be mentored, and possibly staff well-qualified people into these positions so we can see this field move forward.
That's exactly right, Olivia. In my 25 years of working with the federal sector, I've seen a lot of trends. I've seen a lot of buzzwords. And one of the things that I've seen is that in the last several administrations, training budgets have been slashed, travel budgets have been slashed, new initiatives, new regulations, new policies have emerged. And every time we have a new president, we have a new president's management agenda, which brings us to part of the education, coaching, and mentorship value proposition that we have designed for the government. First, we have the Biden-Harris budget and the Evidence-Based Policymaking Act of 2018, which requires small businesses to get a share of the business, and some of that business sets aside budget for training. And one of the most vulnerable areas of training that has been left not well done or not done at all in the last several years is the areas of policy, compliance, and governance. And that can span everything from technology business management to enterprise architecture to capital planning to portfolio management and portfolio maturity. So we have worked on a way that we can answer the Federal IT Acquisition Reform Act, the President's Management Agenda, and the Evidence-Based Policymaking Act to provide very specific virtual training modules in all of these core areas so that our management professionals, those in project, program, or portfolio management, those who are practicing technology business management principles or financial management principles, those who are architecting IT solutions for government, or are in organizations and agencies that are impacted by interrelating with these disciplines. We're providing you a new set of training modules that helps you check all the compliance boxes while simultaneously preparing your staff to know what they're doing in terms of demonstrating performance, in terms of managing and maturing those portfolios so that a selection, control, and evaluation life cycle is adhered to, on a way to show the Biden-Harris administration that for the infrastructure and budget investments that are forthcoming, that the portfolios can demonstrate performance for the dollars they are receiving. And these modules that we've created are a work in process that Olivia and I have teamed up to create. And these modules are on topics like capital planning, technology business management, project management specific to the federal government, program and portfolio management, operational analysis, which specifically ties to the president management agenda items for user experience and customer experience, very important. And as we continue to work with the government and provide these training modules and coaching and mentoring sessions, We are coming up with new topics that help federal agencies meet the mark with regard to aligning with their strategic and information resources management plans. They're aligning with the OMB guidance. And simultaneously, we're helping people understand the GAO audit criteria so that when agencies are evaluated based on their performance, they get favorable evaluations. So not only are we filling a gap, but we're also helping you comply with the law and meet the mandates real time with no waiting lists, no in-person training, and no backlog.
I really want to drill in on why would you utilize FITSourcing? Why would you utilize our organization for your IT governance? And think about it like this. Outside of all of the things that Janelle just stated, we have a situation where tax-paying dollars are utilized for all of our IT governance needs. Throughout the federal government, every year we make decisions on what programs and what projects we're going to push forward to innovate our country forward. That funding is typically used by tax-paying dollars. We have other resources of funding, but the majority of that funding comes from we the people. And we want to make sure that within this process, those who are involved in making decisions have clear transparency. They have strategic goals that they can really actually measure, things that they can actually meet, and things that we actually want to see evolve in all of our departments around the country. We have these towers and these cost pools where if we align these things correctly, we can visualize enterprise architecture in a way where we can see our country in a whole and come up with actual real solutions to some of the problems our country faces every day.
I agree, Olivia. And there's another piece of FITARA, the Federal IT Acquisition Reform Act, that requires that federal employees have to align with these acquisition reforms and these portfolio management reforms, and it translates right into their benefits and their incentives through the Human Resources Department. And FITARA scores on this through a congressional committee, and those scores are published twice a year. So the president's management agenda and the FITARA legislation require that for the money that we are being allowed to invest in government operations and government infrastructure, we're supposed to be giving something back to the government called performance. And that in the president's management agenda, performance now very strongly includes the user experience and the customer experience. And a lot of that is measured through something called operational analysis. And operational analysis is mandated by Office of Management and Budget, but agencies have gotten out of the habit of doing them correctly. So anything that's in operations or maintenance, anything that's formerly been in mixed life cycle or is part of a technology acquisition is supposed to be evaluated annually, but people don't know how to do it anymore. We've brushed off the old ways of doing things. We've gone back into the president's management agenda. We've gone back into the OMB guides and the laws. And we figured out a path forward that's easy to learn. These sessions go 30 minutes to 2 hours, and we can make sure that people can very quickly come up to speed and be compliant, and we can save the government money, time, and travel funds doing it this way.
We utilize a platform called Talent Spring for the accessibility of these needs. For the training services that we offer, Talent Spring really gives us a benefit of being able to be accessible 24/7. In addition to that, we're able to access this platform anywhere. You can download an app, whether you have an Apple phone, whether you have a Droid, you can use your tablet, you can use your desktop. And the great part, I believe, for this benefit is that we can access this any time of the day. So you can train your staff, your employees, your contractors on IT governance and get some utilization from it. In addition to that, there's features that has this app being Section 508 compliant. It meets all security compliance for the federal government. We took into consideration if people needed help with the app, there is a live chat that's available to them where they can actually have a conversation about how to access their classes and if they come across any issues. And I really like the functionality of it, in addition to the fact that we're able to certify them at the end of the course. So when they're done with the course, we can look at what they've actually done, the time that they spent in the training, and it will give you a certification on saying you have completed this course. That means that it can be applied to your FACT PPMs. It can be applied to any training requirements that you have, and you have an auditing trail, if you will, that gives you a peace of mind knowing that your staff is adequately trained in IT governance and your PMO staff is up to date, your EA is up to date, core training is up to date. Those things are not, you're not utilizing a training platform that is giving you information from previous administration or something that's outdated. You're getting real time, real now, what is in alignment to do IT governance correctly and effectively.
So Olivia and I have teamed up and worked with Talent Spring to come up with 3 tiers of value proposition for the government. If you just have a few people to train or refresh in a given year, we have a tier 1 solution, which allows you to buy a few modules for a few people with a government purchase card. The next tier is better for organizations that have multiple users and need the full complement of the project, program, portfolio, and governance training modules. And this is customizable based on the number of users and the number of modules you need. We create a bundle for you. The third tier are for those that need that plus customization, such as a department or agency that would have a unique situation, like a unique software development lifecycle, an enterprise performance lifecycle, or a specific customizable need for a specific agency or directive. So we've worked with different agencies and government to come up with some value propositions that make sense. And there's a tier in there that's appropriate for your organization, agency, or department.
Our 3 packages that we have, that individual user experience, as Janelle mentioned, and that multiple user experience and that customization, we have a package for everyone. Like, no matter where you find your agency at in its maturity in IT governance, we can tailor that to your need. So if you only want to train a few people, we have that package available. If you want to train up to 200 people, we have that package available, and we'll make these courses accessible to them for 12 months. If you need to extend that time and you want to sign up for a training on a yearly basis, we can do that too. So these packages are really in mind when we was developing them. We wanted to keep in mind that every agency and department is different. And that's something that we've learned just by our years of experience and working with the federal government. There is no one shoe that fits all. So we wanted to be able to be flexible with this. And if we can go in and you need us to view your system development lifecycle to tailor something specifically for your agency or department needs, we can do that too.
The market research and experience that Olivia and I have put into this project that has been extensive has revealed that on average, there are approximately 2,500 vacancies in IT governance, capital planning, TBM, architecture, and portfolio management jobs just in the DC area. And some of these vacancies span larger numbers nationwide. And one of the issues is that these low price, technically acceptable contracts have been low bid. Agencies with constrained budgets have awarded low price awards, and the companies that have low bid these positions cannot afford staff at the appropriate salary rates to put in qualified professionals, which has put the government in a harder situation because now the government can't afford the highly qualified mid and senior analysts, and there aren't junior analysts that are in the price point that was bid to the government and awarded through the contract and acquisition process. The FITSourcing value proposition can train anyone and everyone quickly. It can take a junior level analyst to a mid-level analyst. It can take a novice to a junior level analyst. We can get folks through the training and development process through their smartphone, their tablet, or their computer affordably, efficiently, and virtually. Another interesting aspect of the Biden-Harris President's management agenda is the direction to contracting officers and acquisition specialists to award work to minority and small businesses. The FITSourcing initiative is a combination of an economically disadvantaged woman-owned small business, that's my company, Zen Federal, and the CMB team is a minority-owned, woman-owned small business. Olivia, can you talk more about that?
Sure. Janelle, exactly. We want to be able to be in compliance with these things that do support our small businesses, that support our woman-owned companies, that support our minorities. We want to be able to bridge that gap between providing you good services from a small woman-owned perspective and giving you something of value, rather you going to spend millions of dollars in training that's not even specific to your needs. So we're basically coming to you as a small minority woman-owned organization, and we're offering these services to you. So we think there's a lot of value in that.
Olivia and I have worked hard to create a proper value proposition that the government can access affordably, timely, and effectively. We have a wonderful small business value proposition, and we encourage you to contact us, engage with us, and let us work with you to come up with the appropriate solutions that are real time. So I'd like to provide you our contact information. You can visit us at www.fitsourcing.org.
Yes, we're looking forward to hearing from you. We would like to hear your input. We would even like suggestions on how you think we can make this a better platform for you. We're here to work with you. So please reach out to us by reaching us at FITSourcing.org or contact us via email at recruiting@FITSourcing.org. And thank you so much for allowing us to have this conversation with you, explain to you what this company is about and what our goals are in your IT governance space.